On February the 7th, 2026, the rock world experienced a silence that felt heavier than noise. Brad Arnold, the voice that once made millions feel stronger than their doubts, stepped away from the stage for the final time. For decades, his songs had carried people through heartbreak, uncertainty, and hope, often without them realizing how deeply those words were woven into their lives. Brad was not just a frontman. He was a constant presence, a familiar sound that accompanied long drives, late nights, and moments of reflection. His passing at 47 years old felt impossibly early, not just because of the years ahead that were lost, but because his voice still felt current, alive, and needed. The world mourned not only a musician, but a storyteller who made vulnerability feel like strength, and silence feel safe. A voice built on honesty, not image. Brad Arnold never tried to be larger than life. That was never his appeal. While many rock stars built personas designed to intimidate or shock, Brad built trust. His voice carried an honesty that felt unfiltered, as if he were speaking directly to one person at a time rather than shouting to a crowd. That authenticity became the foundation of Three Doors Down's identity. He sang about fear, self-doubt, faith, and resilience in a way that never felt rehearsed. Fans didn't admire him because he seemed untouchable. They admired him because he felt real. Even at the height of fame, Brad remained grounded, approachable, and deeply connected to his roots. His music didn't ask listeners to escape reality. It invited them to sit with it, understand it, and keep going anyway. Where the lightning first struck, long before sold-out arenas and chart-topping albums, Brad Arnold was a teenager in Escatawpa, Mississippi, sitting in a high school algebra class with his mind somewhere else entirely. While equations filled the chalkboard, Brad was quietly writing lyrics about a hero who wasn't invincible. That song would later be known as Kryptonite, and it captured something rare: the idea that strength and weakness can exist side by side. It wasn't written for fame or recognition. It was written because Brad needed to say something he couldn't explain any other way. That moment, small and unnoticed at the time, became the spark that changed everything. It represented who he was as an artist from the very beginning, someone who wrote not to impress, but to understand himself and the world around him. The moment, everything changed. When the year 2000 arrived, the music industry was searching for something that felt sincere again. Three Doors Down delivered exactly that. Their debut album, The Better Life, didn't slowly grow into success. It erupted. Kryptonite became an anthem almost overnight, echoing through cars, dorm rooms, and radios across the country. Suddenly, Brad Arnold was no longer just a small-town musician. He was the voice of a generation navigating uncertainty at the turn of a new millennium. But what made the album endure wasn't just one hit. Songs like Loser and Duck and Run showed depth, proving the band had something lasting to say. Brad's writing turned personal insecurity into shared experience, allowing millions to see themselves reflected in his words. Fame without losing himself. As Three Doors Down rose to global success, Brad Arnold remained strikingly unchanged. He didn't chase scandal or reinvent himself for attention. On stage, he looked like someone you might recognize from your own life, wearing a t-shirt, holding a microphone, and singing with everything he had. That simplicity made his performances feel personal, even in massive venues. When the band followed up with Away from the Sun in 2002, Brad showed another side of his artistry. Songs like Here Without You revealed emotional depth that resonated far beyond rock radio. The song became tied to moments of separation, longing, and love across the world. Brad proved that he could move crowds to tears as easily as he could make them sing along, all without losing his sense of self. The cost of the climb. Behind the success, the road carried a weight few outsiders ever see. Constant touring, endless expectations, and long stretches away from home slowly took their toll. Brad carried the responsibility of being the face of the band, the steady presence fans relied on. While applause filled arenas, silence filled hotel rooms. The pressure to always be strong, dependable, and grateful began to wear on him. At the same time, the band itself faced painful changes as personal struggles affected those closest to him. Loss and absence reshaped what once felt unbreakable. Brad became the one left holding the pieces, trying to honour the past while continuing forward. Fame didn't shield him from grief. It often magnified it, forcing him to perform strength even when he felt fragile, choosing to fight for his life. Like many who carry heavy emotional burdens, Brad Arnold faced moments where escape felt tempting. The road, the expectations, and the losses created a quiet storm that few could see. But unlike so many cautionary stories in rock history, Brad chose a different ending for that chapter. He made the decision to reclaim his life, prioritizing clarity, faith, and presence over numbing distractions. It was not an easy path, and it wasn't taken for applause. It was taken because he wanted to live fully, love deeply, and lead honestly. That choice reshaped how fans saw him, not as a flawless figure, but as a man willing to confront himself. For years afterward, he became a quiet example of resilience in an industry known for burning people out. A silence that raised questions. In early 2025, fans began to notice something unusual. Shows were postponed, updates slowed, and the familiar rhythm of touring paused without explanation. Speculation filled the gap left by silence, as it often does. But behind closed doors, Brad was facing something far more personal than rumours could imagine. Rather than making his struggle public immediately, he chose privacy, not out of denial, but out of protection. He didn't want sympathy to define him or his music. For months, he carried that weight quietly, focusing on time, reflection, and those closest to him. As his absence grew more noticeable, concern replaced curiosity. The world sensed something was wrong, even if no one knew exactly what it was. Speaking the truth with grace. When Brad Arnold finally chose to speak, he did so on his own terms. There was no dramatic interview or spectacle, only a calm, direct message to the people who had stood by him for decades. He spoke honestly about facing a serious illness, but his words were defined more by acceptance than fear. He didn't ask for pity or attention. Instead, he shared gratitude for his life, his faith, and the connection he had with his fans. In that moment, the image of the invincible frontman fell away, revealing something far more powerful. A man at peace with himself. His message wasn't about fighting at all costs. It was about living fully, loving deeply, and trusting what comes next. The legacy that will never fade. Brad Arnold's story does not end with his passing. It lives on every time someone hears his voice and feels understood. His songs continue to play in empty bars, crowded stadiums, and quiet rooms where people search for comfort. He showed the world that true strength isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being honest when you are not. Brad leaves behind a legacy built on empathy, faith, and connection, rather than spectacle. He didn't want people to mourn illness or loss. He wanted them to celebrate life, music, and the moments that matter. Though his time came too soon, the door he opened through his songs will never truly close. The Superman he sang about wasn't a character. It was the courage to stand tall, even in fragility,